What if the universe wasn't born from a bang, but from an idea? Today, we're going to dive into a really profound creation story from Hindu cosmology that tackles that very concept. We're going to journey from a state of absolute nothingness all the way to a universe just bursting with potential. So let's get into it. So it all kicks off with this really powerful, simple, but incredibly vast idea: a void. An emptiness that somehow managed to contain everything and nothing all at the same time. This is the ultimate blank canvas for the cosmic drama that's about to unfold. Okay, so before we can even really talk about a beginning, we have to try and wrap our heads around the state that existed before time, before space, or even matter. And honestly, it's a concept so fundamental, it really pushes the limits of our language. This state, it has a name: the Parabrahman. And it's super important to get this right. This isn't a god or some kind of being. It's the supreme principle itself. You can think of it as the absolute reality where everything comes from. It's both the cause and the effect, all blended into one single, indescribable essence. Trying to stick a label on the Parabrahman is, well, it's pretty much an impossible task. But what we can do is describe its attributes. It's timeless, boundless, self-created. It's the state of pure consciousness that just exists, way beyond our thoughts and our senses. It's the unchanging thing that, kind of paradoxically, is the source of all change. No, obviously something that's formless is kind of hard to show you a picture of, right? But visuals like this can really help us start to conceptualize that infinite, self-contained nature. This isn't a picture of it, but more like a symbol for it, a way to imagine that perfect, all-encompassing unity just before creation kicks off. So, the big question is, how do you get from this state of pure, silent potential to the very first stirrings of a material universe? Well, the transition happens with a sound. This is the moment where the abstract starts to become tangible. See, creation here doesn't start with a bang. It starts with an intention, a will. This will creates a vibration, and that vibration gives birth to the first sound, Om. From that sacred sound, the Mahatattva, or the primordial element, starts to form. And this just sets off a cosmic domino effect, which leads to three fundamental attributes: the gunas, and finally to the five physical elements themselves. Okay, these three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, are basically the fundamental qualities that govern everything in nature. Sattva is all about preservation and balance, and that's presided over by Vishnu. Rajas is the force of action in creation, which we're going to see embodied by Brahma very soon. And then there's tamas, the force of destruction or dissolution, which completes this cosmic trio. So when these three gunas start to mix and interact, what do we get? We get the pancha tattva, the five physical elements: air, water, earth, fire, and ether. These become the literal building blocks of the material world. This is the very substance that's going to form the entire cosmos. All right, so we've got our ingredients for a universe. The next stage is watching them all combine. We're about to see this world of abstract forces and elements come together into a real, tangible, cosmic form. So with the elements formed, water begins to flow, and it covers everything in this vast, primordial ocean. And right there, resting on these cosmic waters, the very first divine manifestation appears, an entity named Narayana. His name literally means one who abides on the water. Pretty cool, huh? Then, something amazing happens. The Parabrahman implants a seed into these cosmic waters, and it grows into a golden egg, the Brahmanda. But this isn't just any old egg, it's the cosmic egg. Picture it like this divine, glittering womb holding the potential for the entire universe right there inside its shell. And it's from within this cosmic egg that we get one of the most iconic and just visually stunning moments in this entire story: the birth of the creator himself. So Narayana enters the Brahmanda, and inside, he takes on the form of Vishnu, the all-pervading one. This is a huge deal because it directly links him to his role as the preserver. He's the living embodiment of that sattva guna we were just talking about. And then, wow, the next step is just miraculous. While Vishnu is resting inside the egg, a lotus flower with 14 petals sprouts right from his navel, and from the very heart of that lotus, Brahma, the creator, emerges. I mean, what an image, right? Creation is literally being born directly from preservation. So, there you have it. Our two key players are now on the cosmic stage. You've got Vishnu, the preserver, embodying that quality of sattva. And then you have Brahma, the creator, who embodies the active, creative quality of rajas. They're two distinct aspects of the same supreme principle, and each one has a critical job to do. All right, with the creator now born, his work can finally begin. This final part of our story looks at how Brahma actually structures the universe, and, well, it ends with just a hint of trouble on the horizon. Brahma's first job is basically cosmic architect, and he's working on a grand scale. He takes the shell of that golden egg, the Brahmanda, and splits it right in two. The top half becomes heaven, the bottom half becomes earth, and right in between them, he stretches out the sky. But maybe the most profound thing Brahma does is establish the very nature of time itself. He institutes this eternal cycle. Sarga, which is creation, leads to stiti, preservation, which eventually gives way to pralay, dissolution. But in this way of seeing things, the end is never actually final. After dissolution, always comes rebirth, and the whole cycle just starts all over again, forever and ever. So, with the physical universe all structured, Brahma turns his attention away from matter and towards the mind. He goes into this state of deep meditation, and from the depths of his consciousness, the four sacred Vedas come into being. This is a critical step. The universe now has not just form, but knowledge and wisdom too. So everything seems perfect. The cosmos is ordered, the cycles are set in motion, and knowledge has been revealed. But the story leaves us on a real cliffhanger. Just when it seems like the creator's work is all finished, four huge troubles appear, ready to endanger everything he's just built. And that leaves us with this final, really thought-provoking question. Brahma made a perfect start, but as we all know, a good beginning doesn't always guarantee a good outcome. What happens next? Well, that's a story for another time.